Karen busted my cabin door to arrest me. My guest was a federal agent with a warrant for her. The crash echoed through the pines, a violent splintering of wood that shattered the quiet of my mountain cabin. I froze, my coffee mug slipping from my hand, splashing dark liquid across the floor. Through the window, I saw her, Karen, the self-appointed queen of our small town, standing on my porch with a crowbar in her manicured hands. Her designer coat shimmered under the lantern light, her face twisted in a sneer as she bellowed, "You're done, Ellie. I'm hauling you in myself." She'd been after me for months, ever since I called out her shady land deals at the town meeting. Now, she claimed I'd stolen her precious antique brooch, and she'd rallied the sheriff to her side with nothing but her word and a vendetta. Karen had always been a storm of entitlement, strutting through our sleepy town like she owned every inch of it. She'd built her empire on intimidation, bullying shopkeepers, bribing officials, and spreading lies to keep her grip tight. When I, a quiet bookstore owner, dared to challenge her plans to bulldoze our community park for condos, she turned her wrath on me. First came the rumors. I was a thief, a liar, a troublemaker. Then came the evidence, a blurry photo of someone in a hoodie near her mansion, which she swore was me. The sheriff, her cousin's friend, didn't ask questions. He issued a citizen's arrest warrant, and Karen, gleeful, decided to play vigilante herself. I backed away from the shattered door, heart pounding, as Karen stormed inside, her heels clicking on the hardwood. "You thought you could hide up here?" she spat, tossing her crowbar onto my couch. "I've got the whole town behind me. You're going to jail." Her eyes gleamed with triumph, but something felt off. She was too confident, too theatrical, like she was performing for an audience. I glanced at the staircase behind me, where my guest, a man I'd only met that morning, was still upstairs. He'd introduced himself as Tom, a hiker needing a place to crash after a storm stranded him. I let him stay out of kindness, but now I wondered if I'd made a mistake. Before I could respond, Karen lunged forward, grabbing my arm. "Don't even think about running," she hissed. I yanked free, stumbling against the fireplace. "You're insane," I snapped. "You can't just break into my home." She laughed, a sharp, grating sound. "Watch me. I've got the law on my side." That's when I heard footsteps on the stairs, heavy, deliberate. Tom appeared, his flannel shirt rumpled, his face calm but unreadable. "What's going on here?" he asked, his voice low, cutting through Karen's tirade. Karen spun toward him, her expression shifting from smug to annoyed. "Stay out of this, drifter," she barked. "This is between me and her." But Tom didn't flinch. He reached into his pocket, pulling out a leather wallet, and flipped it open to reveal a badge. "Federal Agent Thomas Carver," he said, his tone ice-cold. "And you, Ms. Karen Whitaker, are under arrest for fraud, extortion, and falsifying evidence." My jaw dropped. Karen's face went pale, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. The truth unraveled faster than I could process. Tom wasn't a hiker. He'd been tracking Karen for months, building a case against her for a string of crimes, money laundering through her land deals, blackmailing local businesses, and framing innocent people like me to silence them. My cabin, it turned out, was the perfect place to lie low while he finalized his investigation. The brooch? A lie. Karen had planted it in her own garden, claiming I'd dropped it during a break-in. Tom had been waiting for her to make a move, and her dramatic entrance tonight was the final nail in her coffin. Karen's bravado crumbled, but she wasn't going down without a fight. "This is outrageous," she shrieked, jabbing a finger at Tom. "You have no proof. I'm a respected businesswoman." She turned to me, her voice dripping venom. "You set this up, didn't you? You and this nobody." I was too stunned to respond, but Tom stepped forward, pulling a folded document from his jacket. "This is a federal warrant," he said, holding it up. "And I've got recordings, bank records, and witness statements." "You're done, Karen." The air in the cabin grew heavy, the tension crackling like a storm about to break. Karen's eyes darted to the door, and for a moment, I thought she'd bolt. Instead, she grabbed the crowbar from the couch and swung it wildly, aiming for Tom. I screamed, but he was faster, sidestepping and wrenching the weapon from her grip. She stumbled, her heels catching on the rug, and fell to her knees. "You can't do this," she wailed, her voice cracking. "I'm untouchable." Tom didn't blink. He pulled out handcuffs, snapping them onto her wrists as she thrashed. "Tell it to the judge," he said. As Tom led her outside, I followed, my legs shaky. The porch was a mess of splintered wood, a broken chair, and Karen's discarded purse spilling lipsticks and keys. She was sobbing now, her mascara streaking, her once pristine coat dusted with dirt. The woman who'd terrorized our town looked small, broken, her arrogance shattered like my door. But then came the twist I hadn't seen coming. A car pulled up, gravel crunching under its tires, and out stepped Mrs. Delaney, the elderly librarian who'd always stayed quiet at town meetings. She clutched a folder, her hands trembling. "I have something," she said, her voice barely audible. She handed Tom a stack of letters threats Karen had sent her, demanding she sell her library's land or face ruin. Mrs. Delaney had been too scared to speak until now, but seeing Karen in cuffs gave her courage. That moment shifted everything. It wasn't just my fight anymore. Karen's reign of fear had hurt so many, and now the town was waking up. Mrs. Delaney's bravery sparked something in Maya realization that silence had let Karen thrive. I'd been afraid to push back too hard, worried about my shop, my life. But standing there, watching Karen scream as Tom read her rights, I felt a fire ignite. This wasn't just about her crimes. It was about all of us who'd let her walk over us for too long. Karen's downfall was swift. By morning, the news had spread her arrest, the evidence, the lies exposed. The town buzzed with shock and relief, neighbors sharing stories of her schemes. The sheriff, red-faced, issued a public apology, claiming he'd been misled. My cabin door was a loss, but the community rallied, offering to fix it. Mrs. Delaney even brought me a pie, her eyes shining with quiet pride. Karen faced years in prison, her empire reduced to a rap sheet. I stood on my porch, watching the sunrise, feeling lighter than I had in months. The mountains seemed to hum with possibility, a reminder that truth, however buried, always finds a way out. This wasn't just my victory, it was ours. Karen's arrogance had blinded her, but it also woke us up. We'd been complicit in our silence, letting her divide us. Now, we were talking, rebuilding, standing taller. What do you think? When does silence become complicity? Share thoughts. Let's keep this conversation going.